Hi everyone, welcome to the first week of our Education 594 class. In this class we will be investigating the characteristics and the needs of gifted learners. I've already introduced myself in the welcome video, but every week at the start of the week for our course, I post a welcome video that allows me to kind of summarize what happened the week before and respond to some of your work. As well as give an introduction to the next week. So you'll hear me say time and time again this year, or semester rather, that I really wish this course could be face-to-face. Since we don't have that opportunity right now, I try to do as many things as possible to make it feel personal, and these weekly welcome videos are one of the things that I'm really consistent about because I like to touch in with you all each week. That being said, I do want to reiterate, please feel free to drop by my office hours. If those do not work for you, then shoot me an email and we can set up a time. I'm very flexible in terms of meeting with my students. And this content is so important that I want to make sure you all know I am definitely available for you. Just a couple of logistics here. So I do run the course from a Monday to a Sunday schedule. Mainly I do that because a lot of you are taking this course on top of other commitments, and I like to give you the weekend to catch up if you need that. That does not mean you have to work over the weekend. Everything is assigned at the start of the week, but you have the whole week to get things done. So hopefully that helps those of you who have several different commitments. So as you'll see in our syllabus, most of your assignments are due on either Friday or Sunday. So weeks when we have discussion boards, which we have an intro one this week, you have an initial post due Friday evening, and then by Sunday you have to respond to at least 2 of your classmates. Again, I have students post that initial post Monday morning because that's when it works for them. So don't see a Friday deadline and think that you have to do it on Friday. So again, we have discussion board posts. The initial posts are due Fridays, and then your responses to your classmates are always due Sundays. On weeks where we have an assignment, those assignments are always due on Sunday evenings. And again, you'll have the whole week to work toward that. What I do toward the beginning of this course is I really explicitly tell you the dates, and then I gradually fade that away. Because you'll kind of get the hang of how things work. Don't be concerned if you feel frustrated or overwhelmed right now. Once you get into the swing of things, the class really will make sense in terms of how it's run. For that reason, I want to make sure that we spend the majority of this week really focusing on how our course is set up. So we have various different learning modules that we will be investigating this semester. And our first learning module will actually spend 3 weeks. All others will be 2 weeks long. So I like to do our first one in 3 weeks so I have time this first week to answer questions and make sure that we are all understanding what's going on. So kind of jumping into our content for this week, this is a challenge probably for some of you, but I do not want you to work ahead. Don't do any of the readings quite yet. What this week is really about is looking at our own conceptions of what does it mean to be gifted. Many students who have been identified as gifted do not understand what that means. Many teachers don't understand what it means to be gifted. Different states define giftedness in different ways. So it's a lot more convoluted than you may think. So this week is really about what do we think giftedness looks like. So in terms of this week, number 1, your first assignment is just to navigate around our course, make sure you're understanding how things work. I do want to make sure that we all have the opportunity to get to know one another. So as practice for your discussion board posts throughout this semester, I'm asking you to write an introductory post for this week. So by Friday evening, I'd like you to write a post introducing yourself to the classroom, telling us some facts about yourself. You'll see the exact requirements on that discussion board thread. And then by Sunday, respond to at least 2 of your classmates that you have been able to get to know through that opportunity. Also on Sunday, you have your first assignment due. This is called the Myths and Realities Quiz. Don't let the word quiz intimidate you. It's not graded. So what I want you to do is work through the Myths and Realities quiz. It's in your assignments folder. Keep track of your answers and then compare your answers to the answer key that I provide. I'm asking you to post your results and do a short little reflection about which answers you got incorrect. This is an interesting survey. It is meant to confront some of the most common misconceptions of gifted students. So I really encourage you, just be honest, take it. I've studied gifted ed for years now, and I take it every year, and I know the answers, but my gut still thinks some of the answers are different. So I like to do this every year with you all, and it's just really important that we think, what does giftedness actually mean in the first place? So that's everything for this week. Just to give you an overview of the course, we'll start with what are our assumptions about giftedness. Next week, we'll start looking at actual definitions of giftedness and where those come from. We'll jump into characteristics of gifted learners, how we might identify gifted learners who may not have those high test scores, but their behaviors indicate that they're gifted. Then we'll look into a very difficult topic of whether or not gifted education is a right or privilege, and we'll dig into various different gifted education program models. From there, we'll look at what I call the invisible gifted. One thing you'll quickly notice in gifted ed is there are intense issues of underrepresentation, and that lots of students are not being appropriately identified. And it's very important to me that I introduce you guys to methods to identify students from all populations. So that's a very important module. And then we will go on to creativity, look at what creativity actually is and how we can encourage that in the classroom. And your final learning module in this class is a special topics module, which allows you to investigate a topic of your choice. That final project is your final exam. So that's just kind of an overview of where we're going here. Really, the purpose of 594 is for you to understand what giftedness actually is. What do these students look like in the classroom? How might their behavior indicate that they're gifted? Meaning maybe they're misbehaving because they're bored. And then to start digging into some of the different models that we have for gifted education. In 595, which is our other gifted education course, you will investigate more of the strategies to teach gifted students, different methods of differentiation, and other curriculum that you can explore. Oh, my assistant has arrived. I'm pretty sure I introduced the cat in my welcome video, but if I am ever working from home, she likes to make an appearance or meow in the midst of my recording, so I'm sorry about that. So that's just a brief overview of the course. I love this class, guys. It is so encouraging to me that you are choosing to study gifted children. We do not have enough teachers that understand the unique characteristics and strengths, but also needs of these students. So by taking this initiative and taking these courses, it really is going to set you apart in the field. Just to recap for this week, you are completing your introductory discussion board post. That initial post is due Friday evening, and then your 2 or more responses are due by Sunday evening. Also, you are taking the Myths and Realities quiz and posting your results by Sunday evening. Hopefully everything is really clear, so familiarize yourself with the course, make sure you read the syllabus. And as always, if you have any questions, just be sure to email me. I hope you guys have a wonderful start to the semester.